It's the 8 for 52 podcast, driven by Cricket Hong Kong China, proudly supported by CricBuzz. Episode 3, Season 3 of the 8 for 52 podcast / vodcast is a go. Buschy with you here atop the swimming pool pavilion at Kowloon Cricket Club. We've got a big show. I say that every week, but this one is massive. Coming up in Spill the Beans, we talk Hong Kong Sixers. We were at the launch last week, and we'll find out all the news and goss for the Hong Kong Sixers coming up in just a few weeks' time. And a reminder, of course, tickets on sale now through Ticket Flap. We have a very special guest in the dugout. It is the new Hong Kong China men's coach. Kaushal Silva will drop by and have a chat, and we'll talk about his life in cricket and what he has plans for the Hong Kong men's team coming up. Then we're going to check all the results as usual from the last 2 weeks. I think it's a good one for my tipping. We'll find out. And then check out the upcoming games for the next 2 weeks with a few tips in there as well. Then Jazz will drop by for the CricBuzz quiz. We'll announce the winner of last week's and 2 new quiz questions this week, and she'll do some birthdays as well. It's a massive episode here for the 8 for 52 podcast. Let's get on with it. What goss does Buschy have up his sleeve this week? Find out as he spills the beans. A massive spill the beans for episode 3 of the 8 for 52 podcast. Me and my mate here, the Hong Kong Sixers trophy. We're talking Hong Kong Sixers. All this spill the beans, and we've got lots of people to talk to. We're going to talk about the upcoming event. Tickets are on sale. What's happening? Who's coming? Big names in commentary as well. We talk to the players and see what they think about it as well. So let's get on with Spill the Beans. Yes, joining us now, the chairperson for Cricket Hong Kong China, Buschy. A big announcement day today, the press conference for the Hong Kong Sixers 2025. Looks amazing.
It is truly a marvelous tournament. Every year it gets better and better. And this year, thanks again for the second consecutive year, we've gotten the megathon. I see this tournament growing exponentially. Yes, it is a wonderful time for.
Well, that was one thing that I noticed from the press conference. You've got that M-Mark status again for the second year, so big government backing from the Hong Kong government, which must be really exciting.
It certainly is, and I think it's also good for the Hong Kong team because with this backing, we can utilize the money better and improve on the tournament itself, and there's a lot to play for.
Last year was huge. This year already looks even bigger. Is there more pressure this year, perhaps, to make it as good, if not better, than the first one after the pandemic?
Well, after every event like this, the board members and the team sit down and go through how we can improve. So we do that very quickly after each tournament, and we make sure that any mistakes are not made again, and we definitely improve it. And this year will be better than last year.
And also notice the Hong Kong Jockey Club's involved for the first time with this 2025 Hong Kong Sixers. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I can. We're delighted that the Hong Kong Jockey Club is actually getting involved with Cricket Hong Kong China. And I think that the fact is they're looking for us to work together with people with disabilities, etc., is really wonderful. And that I see that this can be growing very well for us, and I hope to have a long-term relationship with the Jockey Club.
Cricket Hong Kong China board member, the man with the brains behind this whole tournament, the Hong Kong Sixers, Anurag Bhatnagar. Thanks for joining us. Some questions. It's going to be a massive tournament. We just talked to the chairperson as well about making it bigger and better each year.
Absolutely. This is going to be a big event, and we had a large one last year. But this year, we aim to push it even higher with all the live television broadcasts, with syndication globally, and whatever is not syndicated will be available free on ICC TV. So it's for the world to see. It's going to be a great event.
Well, speaking on that, yeah, I saw that Sony are doing the broadcast this year, and you just mentioned ICC TV. We saw a couple of the special commentators that will be coming in, Michael Clark as well. So you're getting the big names on the field and off the field.
Absolutely. And it's not just Michael Clark and Harbachan Singh that you saw today. There are a few others up our sleeve at the moment. We've got big names. You've seen our press coverage about Ashwin and DK coming in. There are some good names from England, Australia, and over the next few weeks, that's going to be revealed. It's going to be a great event, sure.
Yeah, when I saw Ashwin was named, I thought, oh, wow, that's massive. And then DK in back-to-back, two big names for India straight up. So already I can hear, and people are telling me the support's going to be massive this year. Speaking of support, this is a big, big tournament that costs a lot of money to run. With the support of the major sponsors behind us. But we were talking earlier about the fact you were looking to get more support around Hong Kong for these sort of events.
Oh, yes. And I'd especially like to shout out to MMark and the government of Hong Kong. Without their support, this would just not be possible. Having said that, I would like to honestly see a little more support from corporates based in Hong Kong. We're getting there, but there isn't enough at the moment. And without sponsorship, we can't really manage world-class events. But then again, it's a matter of time. I guess we open the door a little bit. I'm sure in the next year and then the years after that, more corporates will come on board.
You know, we're talking about the MMark status as well as Hong Kong Jockey Club now joining in on the Hong Kong Sixers.
That's been one of a great development. I mean, Hong Kong Jockey Club has come on board, especially from the community angle. Now, it's one thing to hold a world-class event, but if the community is not involved and we don't develop cricket within the community, it's all moot. So for the first time, Hong Kong Jockey Club has come in, and we're working with them to actually reach out to the community. It's ethnic minorities, it's different economic strata of Hong Kong, it's differently abled. It's all open to them, it's all free, and thanks to Jockey Club, it's good. This is something that we've been wanting to do for a long time, and finally with Jockey Club's help, we will be able to this year.
We also saw at the launch today, tickets are now on sale at Ticket Flap. I'm expecting that's probably going to sell out pretty quick.
I hope so. We've got our fingers crossed. Last year we had full houses Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It picked up. It started off a little slow last year, but it was packed. We had a sellout crowd on the Sunday and Saturday and even on a Friday. So hopefully this year, with the big names, with what we've done last year, hopefully it'll sell out a month in advance. Wow. That's pushing it, but okay. A few weeks in advance, we should be home and dry.
Joining us from Arriva Sports, Rajneesh Chopra. Thanks for joining us in Hong Kong. First year that Arriva have been involved with the Hong Kong Sixers. What brought you back to this tournament?
Well, as I said even before or even right now, 32 years of legacy, right? It's not a joke. I grew up watching this on my box set, right? Beautiful 60s, unique format. We feel that we can make a difference. We can make it better, bigger, scalable. We wanted to make in fact, a calendar event from next year onwards. The who's of who should be marking it in the calendar that these 3 days of the year, we need to be in Hong Kong. So this is what attracted us. Potential of making it larger than life, making it the event in the space is what attracted to us foremost.
And on that, you were talking about looking forward. So this is not just a one-year deal. You're looking at the future as well for Hong Kong Sixers?
Yes, it is a 10-year deal. So hopefully we are allowed to continue it for the next 10 years. But the vision is that, so that's why we entered into this deal. And we want to improve it year after year. And that improvement should be such that it is seen not only optically, but also be felt internally also. So we believe that this tournament has achieved a lot, but can yet achieve a lot more.
Our very big thanks to the chairperson of Cricket Hong Kong China, Buschy Shroff, director Anurag Bhatnagar, and from Arriva Sports, Rajneesh Chopra, for joining us on the podcast. Let's have a look at the teams that are coming for the 2025 Hong Kong Sixers. You can see the pool table there to my left. Pool A has a new team in it this year. South Africa back again. Afghanistan joining us for the first time, replacing New Zealand and Nepal. Pool B, the grudge match, Australia versus England and UAE, and another big grudge match, Pool C, India versus Pakistan, with Kuwait joining us this year, replacing Oman. And then in Pool D, well, that looks a lot like the Asia Cup, really, because Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Hong Kong will all be going head-to-head. Let's have a look at the schedules. As I scroll up on my iPad, there's the Friday schedule and kicking off proceedings at 8:15 a.m. Hong Kong, China will be playing game 1 against Bangladesh, and then games all throughout the day. Then on to Saturday, there's 2 more pool games at the top at 8:15, South Africa versus Nepal and India versus Kuwait. And then we get into the quarterfinals, basically. And then on Sunday, it's the big finals starting from 8:15 a.m. all the way through to 5:30 p.m. If you remember last year, Sri Lanka winning almost in the dark. Tickets available right now from Ticket Flap. 3-day pass is $680. That's well worth the money. You can also avail single days, Friday, Saturday, or the finals day on Sunday. Now let's find out from a few of the Hong Kong China players what they think about the Hong Kong Sixers. Natasha Miles, how excited are you for the 2025 Hong Kong Sixers?
I'm super excited. I've been watching it since I was a kid, and it was one of the big inspirations for me to go on and continue to play in cricket at a high level. So I can't wait to see it. It's 32nd year, if I'm not mistaken, so can't believe I've been coming to it for about 15 years now. So looking forward to seeing all the teams come over and hope it's a big show.
Yasumurza.
Yeah, we are really looking forward for this tournament. So boys are really ready.
Carrie Chan.
Hi, I would say it's very amazing for me because when I was young, I was cricket Sixers, and then now it's very good that come back again for the second year, and hopefully next time we got a women's cricket, of course, but we also hope the Hong Kong Sixers for this time is going to be successful.
Are you Shukla?
So yeah, I mean the Sixers being back is huge. You know, there's so much history in this tournament. There's been so many icons playing, and it's great for Hong Kong China to be in this tournament competing as the best in the world.
Karen Poon.
我覺得好 excited 咧，香港 Sixers 今年都係喺香港搞啦，我覺得又可以喺現場去睇波，會好興奮。
Paco Chow.
Yeah, I think that having a really big cricket tournament back in Hong Kong, the Cricket Sixes, I think it's a really good opportunity for a lot of people to gather here in Hong Kong, and obviously, it'll be a very good tournament, and I look forward to it.
Kalan Chalu.
It's huge. It is the carnival is back, and we are excited. We cannot wait to get back into it. This is going to be a tournament of our lifetimes. Let's go Hong Kong Sixers, baby.
Let's have a look at all the weekend results from around Hong Kong. Yeah, let's have a check at all the results from the last 2 weeks. No Atif Hussain with me today. I think he's ducked off because I think I beat him in the tipping this week. But we'll run through the games and tell you all the results. Let's start with Premier League. We've got 2 weeks worth. Round 1, starting with the Ascot Little Saiwan up against USRC. The new look USRC with the Hyats of Bubba and Farhad. And they got the victory, chased it down in 46. The Ascot Little Saiwan with a century for Heda Ali. But that wasn't enough. 252 in 49.5. And then Bubba went bang, 137 off 140. Helped out by Akbar Khan, who went off retired injured, but came back to help the team get the runs with 4 overs to spare. So first points on the board for USRC. Here, I was broadcasting this game, KCC versus PACC, and we were talking about it last episode, where sometimes PAC, who should win games, come to KCC and don't, and they did that exactly last weekend, 2 weekends ago, in fact. PAC Premier bowled out for 197. Nazrullah Runner was the top scorer. It was fun to watch. He went bang, bang, bang. 81 off 43. A threefer for the new bowler for KCC, Hassan Khan. And KCC Premier on the back of the captain, Jamie Atkinson, with a 66. 3 half centuries, in fact. Azaz Khan with a 52. Chris Carter with a 50. Chased it down with plenty of overs to spare. 7-wicket victory there for KCC Premier. Moving on to last weekend, KCC went up the hill, even though it was a KCC home game, and that was typhooned. It was a trouble. I commentated this one as well. In the end, it ended up being a T20, basically. It was 20 overs a side only. KCC Premier getting sent in to bat. 131 for 6, Sonny B with the top score of 37. And the captain, Jamie Atkinson, had a quick fire 21, but then he pulled a hamstring and had to go off retired injured. So Premier chasing it down, and they did it with 17.5, so 2.1 overs remaining on the back of Sahal Malvinkar's fine half century. It's a pitch you had to grind out on, and he did so. One person who didn't bother grinding it out, didn't care, was young Shiv Mather. He just went out there, got a 21 off 9 and got the victory. So first points on the board for HKCC. Over at Mission Road, USRC, off the back of their big win, took on PACC, who weren't playing at KCC anymore, and go back to their winning ways, and they did. They bowled USRC Premier out for 119 in 37.5. Yassim, 10 overs, 5 for 10. He was unplayable. Hafiz Khan with a 2 for 1 as well. Top score, Zakir Hyatt with a 27. Pack Premier getting 120 for 1 in 15.2. Absolute thrashing. Zishan Ali, 84 off 36. So more than 2 a ball. Hafiz Khan with a 28 as well. And only 1 wicket falling, of course. And that went to Ali. So a 9-wicket victory for Pack. And we'll have a look at the table after 2 rounds. And you can see, even with that loss to HKCC, KCC Premier are still on top by net run rate. They've got 2 points. HKCC got 2 points. They're in second place. PACC now have 2 points with a win and a loss. USRC the same, but their net run rate is minus 1.798. And Diasquil so on, just playing the 1 game so far, and it was a loss, so they're at the bottom of the table. Let's move on to Sunday Elite Division 1. Diasquil so on, Tony Turners up against the India Club Brahmas. We both picked the Brahmas in this one for sure. And the Tony Turners, well, they put on 233 again. Header Ali top scoring with a 79. And the Brahmas, well, they almost lost this one. They won it with 2 wickets, 237 for 8 in the final over. Akash Yadav with a top score of 74. Diasquil so on. Tony Turners played again, in fact, against Pack this time. And they were just pretty much destroyed by PACC. Elite all bowled out for 112, and PACC chased it down in 20.4. More Sunday Elite Division 1 games. HKCC Scorpions up against the India Club Brahmas. Now, if I recall correctly, I tipped the Scorps to win this one, and Atif went with the Brahmas. Well, you can see the score on the board. Scorpions 347 for 6. Shiv Mather with a 98. No centuries to get 347, mind you. George Loop with a 96 and Kinshid Shah 72. And then in the end, the Brahmas bowled out in 30.5 for 146. So Hong Kong Cricket Club Scorpions getting a 201-run victory. Let's move on to Sunday Elite Div 2. The Dragons up against the Vagabonds. We both picked the Vagabonds in this one. It was a good decision, only losing 2 wickets with Bhavik getting a top score, a century, in fact, 108. The Vagabonds in action again against the Optimists, and the results were reversed this time. Bowled out for 2, didn't bowled out, in fact. 292 for 9 in 50, but the Opties also chasing it down in that final over. 295 for 7. Sahal Malvinkar with a 180 off 151, getting the victory for the Opties there. Saturday Championship Div 1, and it's the Tartars versus the Nomads. And I think I went with the Nomads on this one, and Atif went with the Tartars. I can't recall exactly, but the Tartars going up the hill, all out for 142. The Nomads chasing it down again with that name, Shiv Mather, with a 60 off 58, top scoring for the Nomads. All right, let's move on to Diasquil So One Sky Warriors versus Pack Rising Stars. And this might have been a game I dropped, I think, with the Sky Warriors 209 for 10. Didn't bat that full 35, but it was enough. Hiran Patel with a 80, Arez Dar with a 25, and a 6 for Hafiz Khan. It was good with the ball, but no good with the bat. Pack Rising Stars all bowled out for 100, and the Sky Warriors win by 109. Sky Warriors in action again against the India Club Yodders, and again, Sky Warriors looking good. 196 for 7 off 35. Arez Dar top scoring with a 40, and then in reply, the Yodders, they could only manage 121, but it was DL Est. So the Yodders ended up winning by 19 runs. So there you go. Not a win for the Sky Warriors there. Saturday Championship Div 2, Punjab Lions versus CCC Hung Tzu. We both went with Punjab Lions, and good decision. 217 for 8. The Punjab Lions, Hung Tzu bowled out for 37. A 5 for Gurbaj. The Lancers were in action again. We haven't been quite happy with the Lancers so far this season, and good reason, because they were bowled out for 10. 10 for 10 in 10.4. I won't go through the top scores, but I will talk about the bowling. The left armour youngster, Harry Shankar Venkatesh, with an 8 for 2 off 5. And then, of course, the Punjab Lions chased it down in 7 balls. Another win for the Lions there. Hung Si in action against the Diaspora Little Saiwan Thunder. They were bowled out for 111, with Damon getting a top score of 22. Share of the wickets there, Praveen with a 3 for, Vivek and Hitesh getting 2 fors apiece. And then the Thunder did it easy, chasing it down in 12.2 with Bhavik getting a 49 and Vivek with a 43. Let's move on to the Saracens versus Kaitak. And this one was going to be close. We both picked Kaitak to win, but the Saracens, needing to prove that they could win, did all right. 137 for 8 in this game. The new player, Andy, getting a 43. Usman Manaj getting a 28. Kaitak chasing it down, but there's, of course, rain about, and it was DL'd, and Kaitak won by 31 runs in the end. Saturday Championship Div 2, HKU CC versus India Club All-Stars. As I scroll back to find that game. There we go. Nope, still going. There, I found the game. HKU, 192 for 10 in 32.1. Jamila top scoring with a nice 81 and a 3 for Niket. And then the India Club All-Stars, well, they took 32.2 overs to get it with 7 wickets down, but got the 3-wicket victory there. A 80 for Vinay and a 36 for Harry Shankar. Diaspora Little Saiwan Thunders against the Lancers. And the Lancers did a bit better this time at least, with the Thunder scoring 152 for 10, bowling them out, not using their full 35. Shamshir getting a 36 and Mohammed with a 32 and a couple of 3 fors for the Lancers, but they just couldn't get the runs on the board in the end, bowled out for 97 with a 4 for Vivek Arya. Let's have a look at the Women's T20 League, and we'll start with Div 1. Lantau Ladies up against the Diaspora Little Saiwan Wasps. Lantau Ladies, that's a strong Wasp side, and they found out, bowled out for 29. And then the Wasps chasing it down in 4 overs, Mariam Bibi with a 14. And the Sunrisers up against the Willow Wilders. That was a tough one because, of course, I like the Sunrisers, but I can't tip against the Willow Wilders, and I think that was a tip that we both got right in the end. Sunrisers, 94 for 9, top score of 17. Alison Sue with a 3 for 11. And then the Willow Wilders only needing 13 overs to chase it down. Emma Lai with a half-century, 53. So good win there for the Willow Wilders, 8 wickets. And then the Lantau Ladies took on the CCC Sunrisers. And Lantau Ladies, 45 for 9. Charlene with a top score of 12. The Sunrisers doing it easy, 7.4 overs. Pulto with a 22, top scoring there. Let's move to Div 2 and the SLCC Lionesses up against the CCC Fung Wong. Lionesses, 64 for 6 in 14.4. That's because there was only 7 players available. Marianne with a top score of 11. Tufa for Arden. And Fung Wong needing only the openers to get the job done. Bianca and Angel getting it done easy inside 7 overs. A 10-wicket victory for Craig and Gower Fung Wong. Okay, let's move to, well, still in Div 2, in fact. India Club Velocity up against KCC Maidens. This was broadcast live here at KCC, so not playing out at PKVR Reservoir. And, wow, that's a big score at KCC for the IC Velocity. 200 for 3 in their 20. Their new player, Akshi, getting a century, 101 off 73 deliveries. In reply, Maidens getting just 75 bowled out. Good to see Jen Dearman's back playing for the Maidens. It's a very young side. Iris Ridges getting a 16. She's not that old. She's about 14. So a big win, 125 run victory there for IC Velocity. Also now to Div 3 and the HKCC derby of Diamonds and Cavaliers. This was a lot closer than we thought it might be, and that's because my old mate Tammy Chu has left the Willow Wilders and gone and played for the Diamonds. And she top scored with a 30, getting the score to 136 for 8. The Cavaliers, well, they batted well, 137 for 2, had 7 overs to spare. Kamaya getting a half century, 51. So an 8-wicket victory there for the Cavaliers. The Diamonds in action again, and this time they played very well. 155 for 7. Bowie Chan with a 33 off 34, top scoring. And then the USRC Eagles, they only managed 109 for 6. Margaret getting a 3 for 4 there. So a 46-run victory for the Diamonds. And the final game here in the results, it was SCC Pinay in Div 3 up against USRC Eagles. We thought the Pinay were going to be pretty strong. They were 180 for 5. Scheller getting a 39 and Alma with a 22. And the Eagles could only manage 81 for 10 in their 19.4 overs. and the wickets shared around a couple apiece for 3 of the players. So there we have it, a very long results as we do, and we can quickly put up the tipping table even though Atif's not here. Now, I want to put up this week's first because I got 24 and Atif got 22. So that gets me back 2 points, and you can see the current after 2 episodes total there. I'm chasing him down, and we'll find out more tips coming up in the upcoming games. But next, join us in the dugout with Kaushal Silva. We're in the dugout with the who's who of cricket in Hong Kong. We're in the dugout here on the 8 for 52 podcast where we talk to the big names in cricket in Hong Kong, and none bigger joining us in the dugout today but the new Cricket Hong Kong China men's head coach, Kaushal Silva. Kaushal, thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Thanks for inviting me.
Now, in the dugout, we will go ahead and talk about what's coming up in the future and everything that's going on in Hong Kong, but we like to look back at how you got to be here sitting next to us on the swimming pool pavilion at KCC. So you were born May 27, 1986 in Colombo, Sri Lanka. What was it like growing up in late 80s, early 90s in Sri Lanka? Were you always in Colombo or did you move around?
No, so I've grew up closer to downside. It's about 25 kilometers towards the downside of Colombo, from Colombo. So my father used to be a cricket coach, and he, from small days itself, the passion that I had and my brother was about cricket, simple as that. And we love cricket, we love watching cricket, and that's how we grew up. And he had his coach in school back in the time, and he's a coach who has produced about 6 to 7 international cricketers, including myself. So my life was full with cricket.
So obviously from the day you could walk and talk, you were thinking cricket. What's your first memories of being involved in cricket, whether it's playing in the backyard or playing with friends or being down with your dad at the coaching centre?
Well, when I was about 4 years of age, he took me to his, coaching school. And, as a 4-year-old, I loved playing cricket. And I used to have fights with my brother because he always asked me to bowl and I never get to bat. He's the only person who gets to bat. That's how we love, towards the cricket.
So by 2009, you joined the Sri Lanka A side. You were starting to make your progress up the chain. What was the feeling like that? You were, about 23 years old at that point?
Well, of course, I was fortunate and blessed to be involved with the under 17, under 19 national levels, and got an opportunity to be represented at one of the best, I would say, probably the best first-class team over there in Sri Lanka, called Sinhalese Sports Club. And in 2000, I think 7 was the first time I got the opportunity to represent first class level, and then played a few years and then got the opportunity to represent A-team level. And that's how I sort of got involved.
And it was only 2 years between being in the A side and debuting against Pakistan. That must have been exciting.
Yeah, it was a tough couple of years for me. Of course, being involved with the national setup, being on the bench most of the tours. Of course, it was challenging at that time, especially the caliber of players Sri Lanka had at that time. Of course, it was tough for me to get involved as a batter, but then I had to get myself in as a wicket keeper. And as you would know already, I played only 3 test matches, got dropped. And that was a time for me to start thinking, remodeling my game. It was challenging, but was really blessed to be involved and represent Sri Lanka at that time.
Well, we'll talk about the good stuff. 3 test centuries. And now we're going to have a look at a video, including this one, sadly against Australia. Let's have a look.
Silva on 99. Full toss. Silva gets his 100. It'll go for 4. It's his 3rd Test 100, his 2nd here in Sri Lanka, his 1st against Australia. And the ground as one rises to Kaushal Silva.
A fabulous century in that game. Now to balance things out for us Aussies, I should point out that that same test, you became the 156th test player to score both a duck and a century in the same game.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that.
So there are so many famous people on that list. It's ridiculous. And you're also, but not only that, that was a game that you whitewashed the series against Australia. It must have been a fabulous feeling in Sri Lanka.
Oh, yeah. That was probably one of the best series I have played so far in my career, and one of the memorable ones. Not because I scored 100, but again that 100 was sort of helped to win the series and also to whitewash Aussies. So that was a tremendous achievement by us. That was a time where we had, tremendous form with our testers, matches as well. So for me to be able to contribute to the team and win a test series and, win against Australia, probably the world's #1 team at that time, was fantastic and great achievement by the boys.
Yes, indeed. Even I like that one, even though I am an Aussie at heart. Yeah. Now, post-test career, you did as many do and got into coaching. You've mentioned actually who you first coached with at famous club, the Sinhalese Cricket Club, where you were also playing at that time as well after that. Did you feel like going into coaching was just a natural progression, especially with your dad being a coach as well?
Well, to be honest, I got involved with coaching, yes, with the Sinhalese Sports Club to start out with, but it was more sort of helping, mentoring, up and coming cricketers. And then once I moved to Australia, that is where I got an opportunity to coach with one of the premier clubs. And then when I went and did my level 3 as well, that is the time I actually started to understand the difference between a coach and a player and how I can combine both parts together. And I learned a lot through that course that I did in Dubai. And I started to really get excited about cricket, coaching more and how I can input the players and develop themselves to become the best versions. And that's how I started to love and, passionate about coaching.
Well, you mentioned Australia, and I was going to ask you about that. You were coaching in Sri Lanka, then you moved and started coaching in Australia. How did that come about?
Well, I was I got my family over there. My cousins, my relatives are there. So while I was playing, I had the privilege, and I was fortunate enough to get my permanent residency. So part of me thinking, I wanted to live in Sri Lanka, but then part of me thinking it's good I get more opportunities in Australia. So me and my wife moved to Australia in 2019 as soon as I finished my career. And then, that's how I started to play for this club in Australia and got the opportunity to be the head coach in that club. And as I said before, since I started coaching, I just fell in love with that and just kept on going. And in Australia, I got opportunities to, in various, from grassroots level and to sort of private school level. So I kind of understood how the structure works in Australia as well. Of course, I was coming through the structure from Sri Lankan setup. And when I got this Hong Kong opportunity, that was really important for me because I was knowing both structures, and that really helped me to get this opportunity as well.
Well, that's actually what my next question was. Move on to 2025. And
Yep.
what made you apply for the Hong Kong China men's head coach position?
I think, I've known Hong Kong through Cricket Sixes. That was the first initial, the way if you ask me what Hong Kong cricket was, it was the Sixes that came into my mind. But when I applied and, when I went through the interview process and all that, I studied a bit about how Hong Kong structure looks like, how they play cricket, and how the associate members train, and what sort of development that I can input into the associate member teams, and understanding the structures in Australia and also in Sri Lanka, and playing as a cricketer for full member team. I felt that there's a lot that I can give back to the cricket and to the community in Hong Kong, and that's how it ended up. Now I'm here, enjoying my coaching, enjoying the environment, enjoying spending time and working with these aspiring cricketers.
Yeah, well, you got your first look at the team at the Asia Cup in the UAE. What were your first impressions?
Well, growth is there, potential is there. I don't like to use the word potential too much because, potential comes with hard work and commitment. And I think it's important. A lot of these cricketers needs to understand that they are in a process where there's a lot to be growth in terms of moving forward, and there's a lot of development that can happen to these players. And again, we got a good bunch of cricketers who have played cricket for a while now, and good bunch of cricketers who are actually in the process of developing. So when you combine both together, that's a great set of players we got. So now it's a matter of changing their mindset and developing them into that winning mindset, that culture, that whichever they're playing against, it's about winning for them, competing and doing the best they can do. And I think when you start working towards that process, towards that plan, eventually they will gonna get better and better as cricketers, as a team.
Yeah, well, I've actually talked to a number of your senior players since they returned, and they've all said pretty much the same thing to me about their first impressions. Passionate, and also makes the team work hard at training. Is that some sort of hallmark of your coaching style?
Yeah, I think end of the day for me is that what as a coach I can do is to get them prepared the best possible way. End of the day, result is something that's not guaranteed, which I believe. Of course, but if you prepare ourselves the best possible way, we are giving ourselves an opportunity, a chance for them to do well. And end of the day, cricket is such, it's anyone's game. You can do well, you can do badly, but end of the day, you got to enjoy the game. You got to make, have fun. But the theory behind my coaching philosophy is that you work hard, you prepare yourself the best possible way, you enjoy the game, and you give yourself an opportunity to win a game. And the win it'll happen. You just need to trust the process.
Now, I don't have any official records, but you're definitely one of the youngest coaches Hong Kong China has ever had. You're definitely younger than one of the players, I know that for sure. At 39, do you feel that being of a similar age to the players is a benefit or a hindrance?
I think I wouldn't think that way. I would always think, okay, there are players who I learn things from. Players will learn things from me. I will learn things from players. So it's a mutual benefit, right? And I'm more of a sponge, I would say. I would rather absorb, trying to understand. I'm coming into a different culture. I haven't been to Hong Kong before. This is my first time. I'm trying to understand the cultural difference. I'm trying to learn that, and these players will help me to learn that. And for me, I'm getting something back from them. And again, for them, it's about, okay, I would have played some cricket, but again, whatever the experience that I have got, it's about giving something back to them. And through that process, they will learn something. So I think it's not about just getting everything. It's about giving and getting both. So I wanted to have that culture. And for me, I feel age is a number, right? And there's no, how do I put this? There's no way that, you can define a coach with his age, but it's about how you understand different people and treat them differently and get the best out from them. So as long as if I'm able to do that, I think that's what that's what I'm here for.
Definitely sounds like a benefit then. Now, you mentioned it as well, but you've just moved to Hong Kong permanently, only a handful of days ago. But how are you finding our fair city so far?
It's been really good, to be honest. Firstly, I love the weather. That's, I can say, definitely yes. Being in Melbourne.
You managed to skip 2 typhoons, babe, before you moved here.
Yeah, look, the day that I arrived, I got the warning. I think it was a time where they were gonna issue a T8.
Yeah,
they were thinking of it, but luckily, probably I arrived.
I think it's you.
Yeah, maybe.
It was only T3, and that means we got cricket on this weekend. It's a washout.
Yeah.
So, you've just moved to town. What's next for Kaushal Silva and the Hong Kong China men's side?
I think of course, the Sixers is about to happen in a couple of weeks' time. Probably then after that, the Asia emerging is yet to confirm the dates, but that is another main tournament that we are really looking forward to. Again, I think the strong message that I pass it on to the players is that, irrespective of whether we play against a full member team or a associate member or a club game, I would like my players, the national players, to set themselves some standard, right? They are the best players in this country. They got to set the benchmark. They always need to raise their standard, and that's how the whole domestic structure is going to develop as as a whole perspective of it. Because if they don't set up that standard, who's going to do it? So they are the best in the country, so they need to set that benchmark. So I think the message is that irrespective of whether they play a national team or a domestic team, they need to step it up. And it starts from the preparation itself, how they prepare themselves. Because I think that's a strong message that I want to pass it on to these national cricketers, is that, look, you are role models. You are the ambassadors of this country who are representing cricket. You are the ones who are passing the message to these younger cricketers. So if you don't set that example, who's going to do it? So I think that's one of the big messages that I have passed it on to them. And we as a group, we don't treat, okay, this is a tournament. I want them to treat every game they're playing as an international game. That's how I want to go ahead with this business, because more they think this way, it's going to be common for them when they play against a full member nation or a ICC event or just a bilateral series. So I want them to treat any game as a competitive game.
Kaushal Silva, it's been brilliant to talk to you. Welcome to Hong Kong. Welcome to the Hong Kong men's team. And thank you for joining us on the 8 for 52 podcast.
Thank you very much for inviting me for this. Thank you very much.
More exciting cricket action coming up. Let's check out who plays who next. Okay, let's have a look at the upcoming games for the next 2 weeks all around Hong Kong. Atif, again, not able to join us this week, but he has been kind enough to send through his tips so I can cheat off what he's tipped. First game we're going to look at is Saturday Championship Div 1. India Club Yodders against Pack Rising Stars at Mission Road, TKRRG. Atif's gone for Yodders, and, well, it's hard. Yodders got that spanking, but also Pack Falling Stars did me in as well. I'm going to go with the Yodders as well on that one. Also, Div 1, USRC Lions up against the Gap Ramblers. You can't tip against the Gap Ramblers. We're both going with Gap Ramblers on that one. And then in Saturday Div 2, this is on the 11th, Punjab Lions against the Charlie Bears Saturday. Now, this is a very interesting game. Atif's gone with the Punjab Lions, and it's hard to tip against them because they've been very good this season. But I will go with the Charlie Bears on this one. And then we've got some Premier League. Excellent. I'll be commentating one of these games. Pack Premier up against Diaspora Little Saiwan D-Lit at TKRRG. I'm going to commentate that one, I reckon, because there's no KCC games this weekend. In this one, it's going to be another cracker. Pack, obviously, with a big win. Atif's gone with PACC. I'm going to go with PACC as well. Then up the hill. This is going to be a good one. HKCC Premier up against the Hyatts of USRC Premier. Atif's gone with HKCC, and it's hard to tip against them at home. They're a good side, so also going there. Let's move on to Women's League Div 2. Serendip Lionesses versus IC Velocity. We saw what the IC Velocity did to KCC Maidens last weekend, and I fear the same is going to happen here. We're both going with Velocity on that one. The Cavaliers versus the Lumber Roses in Div 3. Cavaliers, yeah, they had a good win against the Diamonds. Tiff's gone with Cavaliers. I think I'll go Cavaliers as well in that one. And if the Lumber Roses get the win, well, I'll be on the Lumber Roses train. In Div 1 on the 12th as well, Willow Wilders versus SCC Divas. Willow Wilders, the rule, can't tip against them. And in Div 2, this is Sunday Elite Division 2 men's, and it'll be at GDB. CHK Dragons up against the Serendip Lions. Have we seen the Serendip Lions this season? I don't recall. Look, Atif's gone for Serendip Lions, so I'll do another game of difference here and back in Bobby Chan and Jason Lloyd to get the win at GDB. On the 18th, we'll move a week ahead for Saturday Championship Div 1. Lumber Cricket Club up against the Pack Rising Stars. Atif's gone for Pack Rising Stars. For this one, I'll get back on the Pack Rising Stars. The Lumber are a good side. Laguna Gully versus Hung Si at PKVR Park for Saturday Championship Div 2. Well, that's a tough one. Hung Si haven't been great this year. We'll both go with Laguna Gully on that one, I think. India Club Yodders versus the Nomads at HKCC Div 1. This is going to be a very good game. Atif with the Nomads. Oh, I was on the Nomads train last time. Should I stick with them or think the Yodders are going to come back? I'll go with the Yodders in that one, just for a point of difference. Here at KCC, it'll be broadcast with no commentary, but Crusaders versus the Tartars. the home derby. Saturday, October 18, Crusaders versus Tartars in Div 1. Atif's gone for the Tartars. Well, I'll go for the Crusaders. I saw the Crusaders play on the weekend with a washed-out game. I thought they looked pretty good. So another tip of difference there. Diaspora Little Siwan Thunder against Kaitak at GDB. We'll both go with the Thunder on that one. And in Div 2 also at Cam 10, I see All-Stars up against the Punjab Lions. You've got to pick the home side. So we'll go with the... Oh, no. All-Stars. Atif's gone with All-Stars. I'll go with the Punjab Lions. Let's see how they go out at Cam 10. Sunday, more Premier League one day. The Plod, KCC Premier against Diaspora Little Siwan D-Lead at KCC. I'll be broadcasting that one. Atif's gone for KCC, and I will as well. Then up the hill, HKCC versus Pac Premier. HKCC Premier is the tip for Atif. I'm going to have to stick with him on that one as well. And we'll get through the final game Sunday, the 19th of October in Women's Div 1. The SCC Divas up against the Sunrisers. We're both going for the Sunrisers in that one. The Eagles versus the Cavaliers. A double tick for the Cavaliers for us. Serendip Lionesses against the KCC Maidens. Now, this will be a very interesting game because Serendip Lionesses only tend to have 7 or 8 players, and the Maidens will have about 7 or 8 players that are in lower high school. So our tip's gone for the Maidens. Yeah, I'm going to have to back the Maidens in myself there. And then the IC Velocity versus Link Fireflies. Now, I think a bit of, cronyism going on here. Our tip's tipped the Link Fireflies, which, of course, is the team that I named. I'm going to go with IC Velocity. It's hard to go past Vancy Chowdhury and their new player, Akshi, who already got a century here at KCC. So I'll go the Velocity on that one. The final game, Sunday Div 2. It'll be the Vagabonds versus the KCC Infidels. That will be played at Ting Kwong Road Recreation Ground. We're both going to go for the Infidels. We like the Infidels. Of course, the Infidels missing Atiq Iqbal this season and Mo Khan. So it'll be interesting. That might be the first time we get to see them in action. I'm not sure. So Vagabonds versus Infidels. Vagabonds going down to Div 2. Infidels always at the top of the table. Both going for the Infidels. There's all the games coming up in the next 2 weeks right around Hong Kong. It's time for the CricBuzz quiz, where you put your cricket knowledge to the ultimate test.
Welcome back to the CricBuzz quiz. First off, let's reveal the answers for the last episode. For question 1, it was Ayush Shukla who reached his 50 T20I wickets milestone in the match against Bangladesh. And for question 2, it was Kinshit Shah scoring a 3 for 39. Did you get them right? Now, on to today's quiz. For question 1, you can refer back to the previous episode. So which team in New Zealand does one of the Hong Kong China newest players, Kalhan Chalu, plays for? And for question 2, which former Hong Kong China player now plays international for another team? And which team is that? This wraps up today's episode of the CricBuzz quiz. Share answers in the comment sections of the 8 for 52 podcast Instagram post or Cricket Hong Kong China's Facebook post for a chance to win a signed 2024 Hong Kong Sixes bat. And before we end, a shout out to Suman Shah for getting the correct answers in the last quiz. Hope you enjoy your prize.
Happy birthday to
Who's having a birthday in Hong Kong cricket circles? Find out in the Birthday Bonanza with Jazz.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
So quite a few birthdays to go through in today's episode. First off, on the 12th of October, we got Samad Khan having his birthday. On the same day, Martin Kutsia is having his birthday as well. On the 14th of October, we got Charlie Wallace, while on the 15th of October, we got David Jacquier having his birthday. On 16th of October, Tammy Chu, and on 19th of October, it is Arista's birthday. On the same day, Natasha Miles is having her birthday as well. And lastly, on the 22nd of October, we got Haider Ali having his birthday. Happy birthday, everyone. Wishing you all a great one.
Hi, I'm Natasha Miles from the Cricket Hong Kong China women's team. Tune in to the all-new 8 for 52 podcast driven by Cricket Hong Kong China on the CHKC YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Well, that brings to an end another great episode of the 8 for 52 podcast. So big. Started off in Spill the Beans. Jazz, we were talking about the Hong Kong Sixers. You and I were both there. We talked to the officials, the players. It looks like it's going to be another amazing tournament and probably going to sell out.
Yeah, tickets are now on sale on Ticket Flap, so get your tickets while they're still available.
Yep, going to be a good one, a big one. We'll both be there as well. I don't know if I'm working or I'm going to be sitting in the crowd. Either or, I will be there when it comes up in November. And then we tracked down the new men's head coach for Hong Kong and China, Kaushal Silva. Had a great chat with him in the dugout. It's a great man, and it was a great little chat we had there up here at the swimming pool pavilion at Kowloon Cricket Club. All those big games coming up, of course. Make sure you get around to the grounds or watch live for the ones that are broadcast. I'm broadcasting 3/4 of them, I feel like, so that's going to be fantastic. Then you did the birthdays. My old mate Tammy Chu's having a birthday, and they had the captain of the women's team, Natasha Miles, among others. Very important birthdays. Hope they all have a great time. And the CricBuzz quiz, again, tough one this week. Probably the hardest one.
Is it that tough?
I reckon this is the toughest one, especially if you didn't pay attention in episode 2. But we'll see. If you didn't get the first question, you're not sure about it, go back to episode 2 and watch In the Dugout with me and Cullen Charlie. That's where the answer will come. And congratulations to me mate Suman Shah winning this week's bat. He plays for the Nepal Rhinos in my KCC morning league, so maybe I'll just drop the bat off to him one morning. That brings to an end. We've got nothing else to do apart from go home. Make sure you enjoy all the Premier League coming up for the next 2 weeks as well. Thank you to Jazz for helping me out today, and hopefully Atif will be back for episode 4. Join us then, but until then, this is Buschy signing off. The 8 for 52 podcast is written, produced and published by Aaron Bush, Atif Hussain and Jasmine Zito for Cricket Hong Kong China and Trip Ahead Limited. Copyright 2025.